Coming up on Yao on Sports, James Harden is a Sixer, Ben Simmons is a Net, why one team absolutely robbed the other. Plus, in his first year with the new team, Matthew Stafford leads the Rams to a Super Bowl ring as he officially reached Hall of Fame status. And the Knicks blow a 28-point lead to the Nets. Where does New York go from here? It's Yao on Sports. Let's go. Good day and welcome to Yao on Sports. It was a busy week or so in the world of athletics, but let's begin in the NBA. James Harden is officially a Philadelphia 76er, while Ben Simmons is a Brooklyn Net. In the minutes leading up to the trade deadline, Philly and Brooklyn got the blockbuster deal done. The Nets sent James Harden and Paul Millsap to the city of brotherly love, while Philly gave up Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. At first glance, this trade does look good for both teams. Reports suggested that James Harden was not liked in the Brooklyn locker room and he simply did not want to be there. And as for Ben Simmons, he had mental health issues while playing for Philly, and because of that and other factors requested a trade. But when you really think about it, Brooklyn absolutely robbed Philadelphia. The Sixers, in any type of Ben Simmons trade, wanted multiple first-round picks in return and ended up giving up a couple themselves. But not only that, you gave up your best three-point shooter in Seth Curry, gave up Andre Drummond despite being at the bottom of the league in rebounding. And of course, you let Ben Simmons enter a situation where his lack of shooting and efficiency in crunch time will be minimized. Ben Simmons' game flourishes best when he can facilitate and create for a team that not only has players that can put the ball in the hoop at an efficient rate, but can get it done behind the arc too. And what better situation to do that in than with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Patty Mills, and Joe Harris when he gets healthy. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Now let's look ahead to the future, though. Are we sure that a duo with James Harden and Joel Embiid is good enough to win a championship? Because right now the Sixers are not better than Milwaukee, with the way Giannis is looking like both an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Would it be the first time he did that? Miami's among the top teams in the East with a starting lineup that can defensively shut down any team in the conference. And of course, we have Brooklyn if and when Kyrie is able to play home games. And then Boston has the best defense in the league as of late, as winners of 9 of its last 10. And not to mention Chicago, a team that is also at the top of the East without being fully healthy. Philly made this move with the intention that they could win a championship this year, but they're not even a top 3 team in their conference, let alone the best team in their division. But the final thing I'll say about this, though, James Harden is eligible for a $223 million extension that would, according to ESPN's Bobby Marks, have him making $62 million at age 38. And believe me when I say, that alone makes me think that Brooklyn won this trade, because Philly would be giving Harden the worst contract in NBA history. You probably heard the news by now. The Rams are Super Bowl champions. Los Angeles took down Cincinnati 23-20. Matt Stafford threw for nearly 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Cooper Kupp's magical season ended not only with a ring, but with Super Bowl MVP. The Yakima native had 2 touchdowns, including a go-ahead score with under 2 minutes left in the game. And of course, Aaron Donald is going to be Aaron Donald. 2 sacks and 3 QB hurries, including on 4th down to clinch the win for LA. Matthew Stafford, 12 years with the Detroit Lions, comes to Los Angeles in a trade after Sean McVay knew he couldn't get it done with Jared Goff. And it's Stafford's first season in a Rams uniform. He goes out and becomes a world champion. It is a remarkable story. 13 years into his career, Stafford has a Super Bowl ring, but is he a Hall of Famer? The answer, respectfully, is no, absolutely not, and I will tell you why. You do not go from being a player that cannot win a playoff game, that cannot get it done under the bright lights, to instantly Hall of Famer because of one successful playoff run. Detroit or not, we are talking about a guy with a career record of 86 and 95. We are talking about a guy with 0 MVPs, 0 All-Pros, and 1 Pro Bowl appearance, and the 1 Super Bowl ring. That is it. Beyond all of that, not that this is the be-all, end-all criteria for being a Hall of Famer, but you can, without a doubt, tell the story of football without Matthew Stafford. Never led the league in touchdowns, never led the league in passing yards, quarterback rating, completion percentage, none of it. But the bad stats, Stafford checks off all the boxes. Led the league in interceptions, led the league in pick sixes 4 times. He's not a scrub. He's for sure a top 10 quarterback in the league today. But to say he is a Hall of Famer, there is not much of an argument there. But on the bright side, he is 33, will get a contract extension this offseason, and will get the chance to make some history. But as of now, he is not Hall of Fame worthy yet. All right, back to the NBA. The Knicks blew a bad lead, and they are down bad. New York fell to Brooklyn 111-106 in the Garden after leading by 28 points. It's New York's largest blown lead in a loss over the last 3 decades. The Nets' comeback was led by rookie Cam Thomas, who scored 16 of his 21 points in the fourth quarter, including a dagger three-pointer with under 8 seconds left. And for the third time in less than 2 weeks, the Knicks blew a lead of 20 or more. So considering this show is based in New York, you could assume you hear a lot of things when it comes to New York sports, but it is safe to say nothing is more disappointing, sad, or embarrassing than the New York Knicks. I've said this before, and I will say it again. The Knicks have always been bad. It is just that New York fans are so used to being bad that the one time they are above average, it gets played off as if New York is great, when really they are not. Tom Thibodeau is officially on the hot seat. The defensive guru has New York blowing large lead after large lead after large lead. And don't forget, the Knicks are 17th in the league in defensive rating after being number 4 just a year ago. Oh, and R.J. Barrett. Don't forget, it is Tom Thibodeau's fault that R.J. Barrett is out. It is sad. The Knicks are probably not even making a play-in tournament, and if they do, they are for sure not sniffing the NBA playoffs. Despite Julius Randle averaging 30 points in his last 7 games, he should have been traded a long time ago. Now the Knicks are stuck with this lack of a competitive roster. They should be getting Derrick Rose back, but will he even change anything? The only big change that could be made is the buyout market, and considering New York is not even a contender, why would anyone want to sign with them anyways? The Knicks are a bad basketball team right now, and it's going to take some big trades in the offseason to get them back to being even a shell of its former self. But honestly, Knicks fans are still going to have to live through the pain of the Knicks not making the playoffs and potentially suffering another disappointing loss. But for today's final word, we're going to stay with the NBA. We touch on the Phoenix Suns. Winners of 7 straight games, it is pretty clear that Phoenix is the best team in the National Basketball Association. Devin Booker playing with a vengeance after the finals loss back in June. And of course, Chris Paul is going to do Chris Paul things. But in terms of championships, can Phoenix overcome something that has been a trend with the most championship teams in the past? An elite forward or big man. Since 2011, over 10 years now, the NBA champion has been led by an elite forward. The only exception is a generational player, one of the best point guards of all time, by the name of Steph Curry. But looking at the list here, Dirk Nowitzki, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, all the best players on their respective teams and in their respective championship series. And for the Suns, do they have that elite forward that can go tit for tat with names such as Giannis or Kevin Durant? Not quite. DeAndre Ayton does not fit the bill. So for me, it would be a hard time to have the Suns as championship favorites without having a guy like Steph Curry, who is a generational talent, or an elite forward who can take over the game. Is Devin Booker or Chris Paul really those guys? Maybe not, with the way Phoenix relies so much on team basketball. Yes, they took the Suns to the finals, but it was ultimately Giannis Antetokounmpo that beat them. So will Phoenix break the curse? Will they break the trend? Well, we shall see. But it's not looking good right now the way Giannis is playing, and we'll see how KD looks when he comes back. But there's no doubt that Phoenix can make it back to the finals, but it's lifting the Larry O'Brien trophy that is in doubt. But nevertheless, that'll do it for this edition of Yao on Sports. Follow me on social media at Yao on Sports, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.